Hey guys, and welcome back to Sandustry Endless episode 9. In the last one we still had issues with our water supply. For some reason multiple pumps can't keep up with a single vent, so we experimented a bit to find a solution. For example, we tried to increase the pipes, because maybe there is a flow limit for them. That wasn't the case though, and nothing we attempted seemed to work. So in the end, we had to use portals until we find another fix. Finally starting to build part 3 of our factory, we needed to get creative, because we can't get half a pixel of a belt of cinder with the shaker method. So we used a new mechanic to our advantage. For a full showcase and possibilities of that method, make sure to watch last episode. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the action. We still have a lot of work to do. So sit back, relax and enjoy. So now we have the right amount of cinder. Also maybe this will bother me. Can we place this right here? Yes, better. For red sand though, I still want to use this method with the shaker. Because like that we are gonna vary it a bit, and I would say just to have it in the factory involved as well, we are gonna do this. So let's have some belts around here and block this off. Also, yeah, let's block snow right here. Have something like a second line. Also maybe on the top, somewhere around here, to maybe store a bit more red sand. At the end, we are gonna split this onto 6 different belts. One belt is gonna look like this, and 5 belts are gonna look like this. So let's build them. These here, we are gonna use our double shaker build and pretty much just copy it for all the lanes. So now we have 4 and this is our 5th. So these combined are 0.5. And down here we are adding the other line, which is gonna be 1 pixel height. I'm also realizing we need more space. So just move this down for a second. Yeah, because this is red sand, it will just fall through. And we don't want it to fall through, so we need to block this off. Which we will do like this, I would say. So now we can copy it. Yeah, this will need more space than I had anticipated, but it should be fine. Also seeing this, we can limit this right here to 1 pixel height to not have that much red sand stuck in here. So copy this, 1 more, and 1 down here. I moved this up here, but in fact we can make this 1 higher, because this works too. And like that we save a bit more space. Okay, so this is huge already, and I hope we will have enough space. If not, we are gonna have a bit of a problem. So let's see. Let's add a bit of a fancy drop mechanism here. Also for the red sand and the following steps, I want to give a bit more attention. This whole mixing part needs exact values at any time to not completely collapse. So why not make it a bit more special and add some fanciness. Well, and this then will mix these two. I would say this is fine. So let's have a look and find out why all the sand is stuck down here. Okay, it's also stuck here. And I guess the sand washer is not working properly. I think we want to bring this a bit more down, so that preferably only the wet sand is going to the right side. Maybe 1 more. it should at least not hurt, I guess. Well, maybe it does because now it's going here, so take it down one more. And maybe even do it like this. So now this up here is stuck, but yeah, we can already see there's a lot more wet sand coming here. But we also now have water up in here, which is not really what I like. But I believe... Yeah, okay, now that the sand is... okay, it's somehow wetting the sand here. So it's dropping down. So we actually got another use for this. So how could we achieve that the water is not stacking up so high? Maybe if we do something like this. Okay, I think this won't... Yeah, this won't be enough space. Maybe one higher. So usually sand shouldn't go through here. This might be a bit better. For now, actually, this is only clogged up because it is... Yeah, it got stuck up until like up here somewhere. So once this is all gone through, this should be fine anyways. And yet again, the only issue is the water. If we had enough water in the first place, this wouldn't have been stuck at all. I'm also kind of curious now because there's a lot more sand coming through here than usual. So I'm kind of curious if this is causing trouble again, like somewhere around here. But I would say this should be fine. It is kind of a lot, but it's not that much that this whole thing is getting clogged up. So we should be more than fine. So now that we have this huge monstrosity, I'm kind of realizing we don't have a lot of space down here. So I actually would like to move this whole thing a bit to the left. So how are we gonna do this? I would say we get rid of this for now. And move it like part by part. We can, yeah, get rid of this for a second. So can we move the whole building at once? That's the question. We at least will need a lot of space. So don't place it above the character. Right here should be fine. Alright, this was a huge building. So let's copy this again. So where do we want it? So on the left side, kind of signalizing with this is kind of risky, but yeah. Okay, so we should have enough space for sand and gold on the left. So even if it's like this, it should still be fine. So I would say here will be fine. Alright, everything's built. Everything's fine. And yeah, we have a lot more space. So now, what is happening here? I don't understand. I mean, is my game bugged out or anything? How is wet sand coming down here? Wet sand and burnt slag. I don't get it. All these filters are set right. So no wet sand at all should have the possibility to get down here. Also the burnt slag. All these filters are set correct. So I really don't know what's happening. And I guess for that reason, I'm not gonna bother just to put these into the portals. This is like, I don't know, it's like, it's not my fault. It's the game's fault, so I don't care. Let's block only snow. Yeah, it's a bit stuck right now, but this will fix it, at least. If there's not any more bugs right here somewhere. Okay, so I guess let's fill the gold back in. Yeah, remove this belt for just a second. We have enough gold. We do want to get rid of this anyways. So let's pull it from here. Wait until it's filled up. Maybe actually want to make this a bit higher. At least one. We need a bit more gold. Now we also can see that everything is working fine. These new planter boxes have no issues. So what is going on here? Okay, this is allow only gold. Well, make this block only slows. So make this block only snow. Well, can't do this. Now we should be able to do it. What is this set to? Everything is set snow. Okay, so this is set right, but it's not working because the bounce lag anti-wet set is cycling back and forth. So yeah, just help it out a bit. At this point, I don't even know what's going on. Also, now everything is getting into here. Oh no. Get rid of this for a second. I kind of don't understand why all of this is happening. So, suck all of this up. And maybe eventually we want a belt down here. And here we say allow only wet spores. Block it off. And also block only wet spores. Clean up this. And actually get rid of this. Okay, so filling all of this back in. We should be fine now, at least I hope so. We're also gonna free all of these materials just in a second, once everything is getting soaked up into the portal. Actually could do one more, just to make it a bit faster. That's not the right thing. We want walls. Block only snow. Okay, so what were we doing? We wanted to fix this. So pull all of this in. Actually, yeah, remove this. Remove this as well. And yeah, I would say like this height. Alright. There we have it. Okay, I actually want to I want to have this a bit higher on the right side. This is dancing around again. Also, why is this making trouble now? This should be so much faster. I think my whole game is broken. This is just hilarious. So plug all of these back in. Yeah, now it's working again. I don't get it. But I'm also not asking questions anymore. This is just hilarious. So remove this up here and now build the bridge. Okay, I wish I could zoom in. But we should be fine if we are careful. Yeah, I mean, this looks a bit better. I like this more. So remove this. We wanted this right here. Get rid of that. And the belt should go in the other direction. Alright, just another quick check if everything is fine still. Is this clocking up? I don't think so, it's moving. Yeah, out of order again. Tell me more. but this is working. And yeah, it should empty out again at some point because there's not so many petals coming down here anymore eventually. Alright, now that we have this, we now need somewhat of a small box to mix the cinder and the red sand. So once more, let's build a bit. Alright, here it will get mixed. So we want down here something like allow only snow. Basically block everything because only the lava is allowed to go through here. Alright, so cinder and red sand is getting combined and turns into lava. Lava goes down here. So below we actually need another box where we then mix the produced lava with gold. That is coming from the right side here. So let's see how this will actually look like. So once again, block only snow. And yeah, somewhere around here, this will be our gold storage. I would say we go like until here. I don't want to make it too small, but also not too big. So yeah, we will need space for at least 3 of these because 1.5 cinder and 1.5 red sand are gonna get mixed into 3 lava. And for 3 lava, we need 3 gold. So we want to have our droppers or our flow limiters somewhere around here. So build the bottom one first, build the second one just to make sure. And this should do the trick. Now we will need this 3 times. One more time. Right here. Okay, looks pretty solid, I would say. We then want to block it off somewhere around here. Something like that should be fine. And now we want to move the gold down here. So let's tinker a bit. Okay, so this looks kind of nice for now, I would say. So let's mix the gold with the lava now. Eventually I want this to look somewhat like a flower. You won't be able to see it right now, but you will if I put like the materials in. Down here we want to block wet spores, which we can actually fill in because we soaked some up. Yeah, we actually soaked up a bunch. Okay, so this is a bit much. Okay, maybe I want this down one more. Yeah, it will look a bit better. Yeah, it should be fine. It should be good like this. Also, just to take a quick break, we can unleash all the materials we gathered up. So there was some wet sand, and actually I want to just drop this down here because we still have our sorting kind of machine-like thing. So there should be no problems at all. What else do we have? A bit of burnt slag, 7 burnt slag, that was it. Sand we keep, water we keep, red sand also, gold. Fire, of course. Don't unleash fire. Red spores, actually bring them here. Yeah, to kind of let them slowly move in. Yeah, this, I don't know. This might be a bit too much for my likings. Yeah, maybe make this like to 1. And just empty out the wet spores. Do we have something else? Lava we keep, cinder we also keep. At least for now, we will need the cinder down here. And actually hoping that the cinder will be enough to get this going. Alright, so what do we have? Cinder coming here, red sand going here. Also, the overflowing cinder is getting through the shakers and goes down here, yeah, getting into red sand. We have gold on the left side. After cinder and red sand are gonna get mixed into lava. Lava goes down, mixes with gold, and turns into liquid gold. Liquid gold is heavier than wet spores and therefore goes down here. Where then is gonna be our last step, which is mixing it with sand. So below the gold, there's actually, yeah, let's start from the bottom, I would say, to see how much space we have. Also, for the same reason, to see how much space we have. I actually want, okay, so this is kind of the right position I want this to be. So we are gonna have a wall somewhere around here. Also, for now, let's block this off for just a second so that we can get rid of this. Porter. It would have decayed anyways, but just soak it up, get rid of these pipes, and get the wall all the way to the bottom. We then want some pumps down here, so 3 was enough to make sure. Let's make 5. And let's open this back up. Connect these with pipes, just like that. Everything should be connected, yes. And just as a security, actually I'm not quite sure if this is gonna be able to reach. Okay, so there's now no space for the importer. I could put it up here, but I don't think the water will go up that high, but yeah, whatever, let's have it here. It won't hurt. So we can now kind of rip this apart and move the launcher to here. And like that, this will look a little bit better. And we already got rid of the wet spores. Yeah. Looks pretty clean. We still have a lot of stuff, but that's fine. So let's think about what we want to do with the sand. And then kind of having the idea to move this to the left again. And I guess connect this again up here somewhere for now. Yeah, this is kind of ugly. We're gonna change this back in a second. Just to see how much space we have. Block this off. And we now have that more space available. Because I want to do something like this. We have a belt maybe here. And here it's gonna be block only snow. Kind of all the way to the right. Should be fine, I would say. We're then gonna have launchers. And seeing this should be enough space, but I want a bit more. So move it 1 more down. We're then gonna have a belt that goes here. Also rebuild these launchers. This should be fine. And you are not gonna open this up yet. But eventually the sand will go to the right, drop down in our storage. Once the storage is full, the overflowing sand is getting looped back through the factory. All of this then will be our dry sand storage. And somewhere down here, we are gonna mix the liquid gold and the dry sand and create cinder with it. So this is gonna be a bit tricky because we need, we are creating 6 pixels of liquid gold, which will need 6 pixels of sand. So we will need double the amount of this up here. Now is the question, is this gonna be enough space? I believe we want a bit of a dry sand storage on the right side, but kind of something like this for now. Can copy it one more time. And we now only have to figure out how we want to get the sand into here. We could also just have one belt that is like, that has 4 pixels height and 2 with 1 pixel each. But I think 4 pixels height, like full belt, is sometimes a bit inconsistent. So I would rather use 6 of these. Also, it looks more confusing, and more confusing sometimes is better, I would say. Okay, so now that we have this plugged in, I would actually like this to be a bit lower. Well, let's build the walls first. Something like this. Maybe it's a bit overkill, but I think especially at this part, because there's like so much stuff going on down here. There's 6 pixels of sand and also 6 pixels of liquid gold coming down here. So this is like 3 full belts of cinder coming like out of this. And yeah, this is really a lot. Also at this part you can see why I originally made this to be not so much throughput, because if it was like a full belt, we would need like double the amount of here. We had like 3 full belts of sand coming into here, and this also would have all been doubled. And I don't know, maybe on a bigger map or something it might be possible, but with so much stuff moving, like literally nearly everything is getting inconsistent. So this, for me at least, is like pretty much the maximum amount I want to put in or get converted. I guess this looks kind of good, so we can seal it up for now. Also fits pretty well with this right here. And that should pretty much do the trick. We now have to somehow figure out how we want to get this stuff out of here, which I would believe launchers might be the best idea. I mean, is there any case where launchers aren't the right idea? So let's use launchers. So are these launchers enough to launch out that much cinder? At least I would hope so. So to make this really work, I would say at the start we fill this like a bit with liquid gold to have more liquid gold than sand in here. I think this might be better. But we are gonna have to see if we are actually, or at the point when we are actually starting to get this to work. Now the problem is we will have to get all this cinder up to here. So how do we want to do this? I mean, this looks this looks kind of tempting, I would say, but I don't really know. I mean, we have the space and we also like launchers, so I don't know, maybe why not? Okay, now we want, well, what actually do we want? Maybe something like this. Yeah, I would say this is not, I would say this is not a bad idea. and kind of do the same right here. So will this actually work is the question. And I'm kind of worried, but I don't know. I think it should work. Maybe put these launchers in here. Another quick break, so has this stabilized? It kind of looks like it. It has the right throughput. Nothing's overflowing. Water's fine. These are all working. Nothing is stuck. Coming down here. Yeah, problem solved. We got rid of all the petals and the ash. Down here. Also everything is fine. That's what we want to see. This now allows us to peacefully wrap up today's episode. Kind of the only thing left to do is to build the Void Bloom mixer. Then the big question is gonna be if everything works as intended. Seeing this whole construction while editing makes me worry a bit. But let's not jinx it right now. Thanks a lot for watching till the end. And now, have a wonderful rest of your day.